What's up, everybody? For the 200th time, I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. And today, not only is it 200 episodes, but we also have guests.
We do. We've got some cues that need to be Richard, so we brought some of the best that podcast has to offer. And Rima, Joe from Strange Indeed, and Jason from the Walking Dead cast. We're very excited to have you guys on to answer some questions.
Honored to be here. Honored to be asked to do this.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. This is like so much fun for me.
I don't even know what's going on, though. Like, what did you say to get these questions?
I had to do a lot of ungodly things to get people to give me questions, but...
Like, what kind of questions were they? For any kind, or like really like dirty and disgusting, or what?
No, so I reached out and said these could be personal, theoretical, or advice type questions. And there's only a handful of inappropriate ones, so I kind of sprinkled those throughout just to kind of throw us off our game a little bit.
Yeah. I like
There's none that are oddly depressing. Like, why are you still doing this?
Will you please stop?
Well, so for the first question, we'll start off with, and we'll just kind of do a round table. So this one comes from Paul Sading. He does a podcast called Subject Found and a couple of other podcasts. And he wants to know what came before the Big Bang.
What came before the Big Bang?
Yeah. Not the TV show. I think he actually means like the
big foreplay.
I was going to say, I totally went to like a really naughty place. I was going to say, nothing yet.
Before the Big Bang was the big foreplay.
During.
See, when a mythical creature loves another mythical creature, they have a Big Bang.
And then universe is born.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, everything just kind of like collected all together, right? And got really tight. And then it blew up. That's what happened.
There was a sensation, and it just kind of
It was all
lots of
tense and like, God, I gotta just get.
Yeah. And one of the atoms was really awkward with the other atom, and
it's like this has never happened before.
Yeah.
And then 9 months later, there was a universe. And
I mean, like, what do they theorize that all the matter in the universe? I know you probably don't want an actual answer, but all the matter in the universe was in a singularity. Is that it, or do we even think
that's the way? Yeah, that's the way I understood it. That all the matter was concentrated in one specific point, and then everything sprang from one point.
It just like spooged out all over the place.
I don't know about you guys, but like thinking about how massive the universe is, like creeps me out just in that sense. Because like you think about like you're talking like a small ball of all the matter. Like how big was that to begin with? Like it wasn't like a softball size. Like it was just unknowingly big, and now it's even just huger.
No, it all started from one singular microscopic dot, and then from there it exploded, and then now we have a universe that's...
But just like, has it just been exploding and coming back together for, infinite time?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It expands and contracts. I just watched The Cosmos last night. And if you want to feel insignificant, watch the very first episode of The Cosmos, the new one newer one that's on Netflix with Neil deGrasse Tyson. The very first episode where it was like, here's your planet, and here's your solar system, and then here's your galaxy. Yeah. Oh, look, this is where, see this little minuscule dot? That's where our galaxy is. Now let's go even out further. And then you're just like, I feel completely and utterly insignificant.
That's a good feeling for me, because it's like, none of this really matters. It's all right. It just feels like a relief a little bit. Like, man, why are we all fighting? We're just a little speck of dust, I guess.
I'm always excited thinking like, okay, if I time it right, like episode 1 of Language of Bromance will be about at this point through the radio waves. So some alien could get our show at that point.
Well,
and they'll be like, we got to go to that planet.
So we started off talking about our own insignificance in the great vastness of the universe. Way to kick it off, buddy.
Yeah.
You're the best.
I feel more stupider.
All right, well, let's go with like the first inappropriate question then. So I don't know if I'll have to explain it or not, but this comes from Damon T at the Pod Bros Network.
I could make them all inappropriate. Don't worry.
And he asked, a plot or Gonzo?
Oh, in porn?
Oh, I got it. Got it.
Yeah, in porn.
Oh, I say Gonzo.
Yeah, ditto.
Really? I like a little plot to mine.
I'm just gonna skip past all that stuff, anyways.
Yeah.
They're all Gonzo to me,
Yeah.
except the costumes. Maybe.
Yeah, you just skip forward. You're like, oh, next track. Oh, what are the... I say next track because, some people still watch DVDs. Because I'm old school, that's why.
Because why not?
Yeah.
I like a little plot attempting. Not that it matters or it's ever any good, but why not?
Yeah, I mean, like Debbie Does Dallas is like my favorite one ever, and it's a
Yeah.
whole cheerleaders trying to make their way to the Dallas football team.
Yeah, it adds a comedy element when they actually try to do
You know what happens when they add plot to porn? You know what you get? You get what you get now, where it's all like, oh, what are you doing, step bro? And it's see,
That's Game of Thrones' fault.
this is what happens when you integrate plot.
Even though Gonzo ones have some kind of, it's almost like an improv, where you throw out a situation, pizza delivery guy, or this is your stepbrother or whatever, and then it's just sex, though. That's always the answer.
It's like whose line is it anyway with sex?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, scenes from a hat. You guys are at a bus station and you shorted the other person on bus fare. How are we going to settle this? Better question is music or no music?
No.
Oh, no music.
You got to
Okay.
just mute it anyway. I mean, make your own sounds.
No, I don't like music. It's so annoying. All right, I'm going to get into the the TMI territory here, but if you ever go back and watch classic 90s porn, there's almost always music, and it's really distracting. You want to hear the sounds, but yeah, so I think they've realized that that's not conducive to enjoying yourself. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's just become a kind of a parody of itself with the music too, because it's so cheesy. And when you hear it now, I think of Family Guy or any of those Fox TV shows where they try to have that situation in the cartoon. They always have that loud saxophone going in the background and awkwardness ensues.
You watch cartoons and think of porn.
Hey, animated porn is fun. I mean, it's just fun and funny. I don't know what it does for the mood, but it's fun to watch.
Parody porn is hilarious.
Yeah.
Parody porn.
That's the one kind of plot I like if it's like the Justice League or something. That's
Game
pretty
of
cool.
Bones.
Although the one zombie, no. I checked that out one time.
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
disgusting.
The Triple Exorcist, that one was, there was just,
Oh, that was the best.
there was blood everywhere.
Yeah,
You got the dudes I'm gonna fuck the hell out of you.
It's not very convincing though when the priest has a tattoo of Master Shake on his outer thigh. I'm like, I don't think they allow that in the priesthood.
I can't believe it wasn't called the Sexorcist. If they're gonna,
It was the Sexorcist.
Okay.
Is that the one you're talking about?
I thought it was. I don't know.
oh, it was okay. Good.
I don't know. We watched it together and held
We did.
hands.
Back when we played D&D, that we used to play that on like the group of the guys that we played with would always have something in the background like that.
He did it on
you'd be like-
purpose. He did it on purpose because we'd be playing something. He would intentionally play porn to be distracting. So that way he could fudge rolls and shit like that. He would intentionally do that.
That's a great ploy.
Yeah. Because it totally worked.
You should try that in poker, like a poker game.
Oh, we've done that, and yeah, I've been at card games and have porn going in the background, just turned down low, and you got a couple people watching that, and a couple people playing the card game. Totally fun.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, he's got to tell.
Yep, can't hide that
And
one.
he's not even playing.
We could keep going,
else.
so you better move on.
Yeah, it should be
All right,
fun.
question number 5. This comes from Mark C. So if you had only one TV show and one movie to watch for the rest of your life, what would that be? Or what would they be, I guess?
One TV show and one movie?
Yeah. So Rima, let's start with you on this one. So I guess
Oh
you
my
get like the
God.
whole series and you get one movie. And that's the last thing you get to watch for the rest of your life.
Oh my God. So just off the top of my head, probably for TV show, it'd have to be Game of Thrones. I could watch that, I think, over and over and over again and be okay with that. Movie? God, what's a movie I've seen like a million times that I could watch over and over? I don't know. Something probably completely cheeseball. I can't even think of something. Would I want something dramatic?
Sexorcist.
Actually, that is a good point.
That's yeah. I guess if you're going to have one movie for the rest of your life, it might as well be like a porn. But I don't think I want Sexorcist because, as Shawn knows from when we podcast on Strange Indeed, The Exorcist is like the scariest movie ever to me. So no, maybe just any other. Maybe a porn. Name one. I don't know. But yeah, why not?
You just asked three guys to name one. That's like when somebody asks you what your favorite book is and you forget every single book you've ever read in your entire
I
life.
was gonna say out of all of the
I
movies,
just imagine Rima. It's like, all right, I've only got one TV show, Game of Thrones, and she's at a porn shop. She's like, I'll just take one of these.
I mean, does it really matter? I mean, what it is? I mean, just pick one and. I don't have a favorite.
All right, Chicks with Dicks 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, no lesbian porn, thanks. And no, just some straight up amateur porn is good. I like amateur porn.
So you say lesbian porn and the room went quiet.
Well, I'm the one chick representing here. I mean, I'm okay with girls and stuff, but if I have to watch it for the rest of my life, it's we got to have some straight stuff.
What about you, Shawn? Okay. One TV series.
TV show, I'd probably go with Firefly. Even though it's short, it's one I feel like there's an episode for every mood. So like if I'm on the island and I'm like, oh, I feel so happy about myself, I got an episode. If I'm like, oh my God, I just want to swim with the sharks, there's an episode for that. The movie, it would have been one I just recently saw because I think you could find something in it like every viewing, and that would be Ready Player One. Because I feel like every time you'd watch it, I'd be like, oh, I didn't realize that character was there. Oh, I didn't realize that character was there.
30 years later, it's like, yeah, that fucking guy again.
He's in this movie twice.
At 1 minute and 4 seconds.
Jason, what about you?
I mean, I really do think that no matter what you pick, you are going to get sick of it at some point or another. But you have to pick something. So I'll say Karate Kid, which I can watch that movie many times and never get tired of it for some reason. And for TV show, the first thing that comes to my mind is Seinfeld because it's so long, and
That's a good one.
For a long time it was my favorite, and I would want to laugh, and I just laugh out loud at that show a lot of the time.
What's the deal with coconut bikinis?
I like George Costanza, how just so incredibly petty he can be.
Yeah.
For some reason, when people are really petty, it just cracks me up.
They all can be petty,
No,
and that's what
yeah,
makes
yeah.
it. And that's what makes it great. I just started rewatching Seinfeld too, and you sit there and you're like, it's timeless comedy. It's totally like evergreen comedy.
That's good to hear. I haven't seen it in a while, but in the day, it was appointment TV for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Let's see. For TV series, I'm torn. I guess I'd probably have to go with Buffy.
That's a good one.
For TV, I think, because if I'm thinking of a series that I've watched from start to finish at least more than once, it'd have to be Buffy. For a movie, hands down, Big Trouble in Little China. I could watch Big Trouble in Little China 100 times, and I'm sure I have watched it 100 times. From the time I was like 6 years old to now, I could watch that movie again and again. Never gets old. It's always my go-to favorite underrated movie or favorite old movie. That's always my go-to answer.
Do you have a favorite quote?
Ooh, favorite quote.
I just heard one the other day.
Probably like we shook the pillars of heaven. We shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wang?
That's a good one. I love Big Trouble in Little China. It's classic.
Kurt Russell.
Classic Kurt Russell. Kim Cattrall.
And the movie's so great because the star of the movie is essentially playing the sidekick. I think that's what makes that movie so good. Is the movie is about where the star is a sidekick. Because really, when you look at it, Wang is the hero of that movie. It's his girl that he's trying to rescue, and it's his kind of journey, and Jack's just kind of along for the ride. But it's told kind of from Jack's perspective. But he's essentially the sidekick in his own. It's like being, it's like playing second fiddle in your own movie.
Do you guys say your age on the podcast? Do you ever talk about?
Yeah.
How old are you?
So I'm 36. 19.
Okay, you look younger than that. So you must have seen that when it came out then, huh?
No, not when it came out. Like I didn't see it in a theater. I had it on VHS. I had these.
Okay.
My parents recorded it. Yeah, my parents recorded it off of VHS. So it was this VHS tape, and it had 3 movies on there. Had Flash Gordon, Silverado, and Big Trouble in Little China.
Dude.
And so
you good parents.
I would watch that tape over and over and over and over. I think I wore that tape out.
Did they like show you the Goonies and
yes.
like E.T. and
Hat
all the
Goonies?
Yeah.
That was where I found my love for Star Wars because I just basically raided the video cabinet. And so that's how I discovered all these movies. Was just raiding my video cabinet. I'm like, oh, Goonies, what's this? Oh, Lady Hawk. Okay, we'll try this. And
nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I saw all those first run in the theater.
All right, next question. This comes from Chris R. So if you guys could go back in time, what would you guys do as a team that would change history? What and why?
Like all of us together as a team?
Figure this together, huh?
Can we not kill Hitler? It seems like we always have to kill Hitler.
Yeah. Why don't we go back to Hitler and give him ecstasy?
How do you know that already didn't happen?
That's true.
I'm pretty sure it didn't.
I think the creative answer would be to go back in time and make Hitler a famous painter, and then maybe none of this shit would have happened.
He could have been like the Bob Ross.
Exactly. Just go be like, you know what? That is a pretty vase of flowers.
Right. It's a little like this one seems a little anti-Semitic, but it's a painting. So
just a gentle nudge in one direction at the right time.
Right.
Be like,
That's all it takes for an artist.
Yeah.
Just got to give him that little push, a little pat on the back.
And happy little trees.
Yeah, we have to learn German, and we'd be like, das ist gut, das ist gut.
Right. Because if not, so always let that be a lesson. Always encourage an artist because otherwise they might kill 6 million people.
Get the Holocaust.
Hey, if you guys didn't learn anything else from this podcast,
encourage an artist.
Say, if only his mother had pushed him the other way.
Always encourage an artist.
So if we're not encouraging Hitler in this to become a great artist instead of what he became, like what else would there be? I mean, I think of things like, jumping on the boat in the Titanic to try and save it.
How would you do that? You just go and say like a week earlier, right? And say, just adjust your course a little here.
Yeah. Or be like, hey, why don't you slow it down a little bit, Turbo?
But the thing is, with the Titanic, all you would do is save a shipload of people. I don't know if that would really help. I mean, I'm not to say that, that's not important, but
who knows? But you don't know that the people that died, what they could have done had they lived.
Sure.
What kind of impact
it might turn out it was a bunch of losers.
Right. And also, isn't the story of the Titanic, isn't that like, almost like a mythical tale of the hubris of man? Like, oh, we built the biggest ship in the world. Look at it.
It's unsinkable. Oh, shit, an ice cube.
We don't need extra boats.
Just like to remind everyone that ship was designed by men.
Yeah.
I just want to see a world where Rose and Leo actually get to live their life together and have kids, but...
Well, there was room for him on that door. So.
That's true.
Oh my God. I have harped on this for ages. James Cameron actually like made some sort of argument against it about, there was room on the door, like where he was like, no, there wasn't.
I've seen like pictures of like 6 different positions they could have sat in and it's been just fine.
Totally.
We could all go back and tell me not to date Tara Phelps in 1984.
Well, if we're going that route,
You'd be like, no, I love her. I love
Yeah,
her.
get away from me, assholes.
You don't know anything, future Jason.
I totally know what I'm doing. I can make this work.
Past Jason was kind of a dick.
Yeah, it's true.
So let's see. So we're either stopping the Holocaust or we're preventing a big boat from sinking.
Saving the Titanic.
I
Come
feel
on,
like these
guys.
questions you have to be careful with, though, because anything you do could result into something worse.
Right. It's like, it's like
impact.
we do the whole Hitler art thing, and then we're like, all right, now we're going back to 2018, and we go back to 2018, and the Earth is gone. We're like, oh, what happened?
We're like in space for like a millisecond, like, oh shit, we just explode.
What happened?
We want to go back. We got to go back.
No, it's all back. It's Back to the Future 2.
Gotta go back, Kate.
Back to the Future 2 all over.
Your kids are assholes. That's what's wrong.
Marty. Jason, you got to go back.
Come with crazy hair. Shawn? How did you grow hair so fast? And why is it white?
So our next question. So Netflix calls and says that any project you want at no cost, no IP right issues, what do you want to do and how are you going to do it? And this comes from Garrett G. So Netflix basically gives you a blank check and you get to make any kind of TV show you want or movie, I guess, if you want to make a movie.
I've got mine. I've already got mine.
Amazon's already doing Cobra Kai, so I'm set.
All right, it's YouTube, isn't it? YouTube's doing the Cobra Kai?
It's YouTube. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be dumb, but I'm going to watch it anyways. No, I don't know. What do you got, Rich?
Okay, so Sean will know this one way back not back in the day, but there's this old game. It's a tabletop RPG and it's called Shadowrun. And basically what it is I really don't understand why this isn't a show already or a movie, because what Shadowrun is think Dungeons and Dragons meets altered carbon in a world where you have this altered carbon like universe. And then you basically kind of think like if the movie Bright and altered carbon had a baby, that's what this movie.
And it took after Altered Carbon and was actually kind of good.
Yeah. So you have this show where you would have, not a dystopian future, but this, this cyberpunk, kind of everybody's, they can hack the internet and they can, jack into like a virtual cyberspace to, hack things. And you have these monolithic corporations that control the world, and they have like private standing armies, and combine that with elves and orcs and trolls are around, and there's wizards that can actually cast spells and tribal shaman that can summon spirits, and you have things like ghosts and vampires and monsters. And
well, like you've told me about, the head of corporations are like dragons too, right?
There's one corporation that's run by a dragon.
Okay. I feel like you'd have so many cool bosses you could do for seasons on that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, so many. There's this old elf called Harlequin who they call him the laughing elf, and he always has his face painted, and he's a wizard, but he carries around a katana, and
I'm digging it.
That game has been around since I think it showed up in like 88. And ever since then, it's just been all this lore that's been added to it about, how corporations have risen and fallen, and it's really good. I would highly recommend anybody, like, just look into the lore of it, and you'll be like, why is this not a television show? Why is this not a movie? Because you can tell it straight just from like a ground up perspective, just a group of low level. Because what the premise of the game is that you're what they call a shadow runner. So you do these odd illegal jobs for whoever, be it corporations, be it mob bosses, be it whoever. And the jobs can range from like, hey, we need you to kidnap somebody that's held in a corporate office and deliver them to these people, or break in somewhere and get this, or hack this, government server and collect some information. You could do a whole series and just have some no names, and that's your team of runners.
I like
It's
it.
almost like, would it be like an Ocean's 11, but in that universe?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, every episode would be like a heist. It's all basically like a heist episode. There was a show on TNT called, what was it called? Sabotage, I think.
I think you're right.
Where it was just basically like a group of people that, did jobs that were kind of on the, not so on the quasi legal side. So it'd be like that, but in cyberpunk world with dragons.
You had me at dragons. So
Right?
I'm all for it.
Right?
I'll watch anything with dragons.
There's this series. This isn't my answer, but maybe it's one of my answers, by Pierce Anthony, called Incarnations of Immortality, where the first one is about death, but it's a mix of sci-fi and supernatural. That would be pretty fucking cool, actually. And then they had one about time, this guy who's a personification of time, who can make time go forwards or backwards.
I read those books. I read that whole series. That was a good series of books. It was basically like you were the incarnation of whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like a bureaucratic job.
Right. And you had to go around and collect souls. But can I do mine? My real one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So actually I have three. That one, I would like to see Transformers without any influence of Michael Bay. So it actually reminds me of the cartoon that I loved, with like Transformers that look like the actual robots. But really, and this, you guys aren't even going to probably know what this is, but it's called Robotech. It's another cartoon from
I
the 80s.
remember Robotech.
Yeah. And it's basically how anime came into the U.S., I think. This series, it was on syndicated with all the other cartoons, but it seemed so much more adult. And they took anime from Japan and repurposed it. They actually took 3 different series and put them all together.
Yeah, it was kind of sold as like a Japanese version of Transformers.
Yeah.
Is the way it was kind of sold.
It's like all these guys, you get into this fighter jet that can transform into a robot, or there's like a intermediary stage where it has like arms and stuff, but it's still half jet. But anyways, then these big giants come from outer space and threaten the planet. But it had a very soap opera-ish feel, and there were some more adult themes, and it wasn't like most cartoons of the day. You had one plot per episode and nothing ever referenced anything that came before. But this was like the first time I ever saw a cartoon that had a whole overarching story that, you had to be kind of smart to follow it. And plus you had fighting robots, and the Japanese art was really cool. And supposedly Tobey Maguire has the rights to this to do a movie, but it just hasn't happened for what it maybe that Guillermo del Toro, what was it called? Pacific Rim. It's sort of similar in concept. So maybe that kind of pushed it aside, but I really want to see that. So I'd love to see a whole TV series reviving that.
Would you do that live action, or would you do that cartoon style?
I want to see live action, yeah. And the Japanese one is called Macross, by the way. People might recognize that name that it came from.
Rima, what about you? What's your Netflix show that you're gonna make?
Well, it's not nearly as creative as the other two that I've been listening to, or the other two fellas. But if I was going to do something, it's because I'm completely self-absorbed, I'm going to be on that TV show. So it would be either, and I can't really pick one, so it would either be something like, how like David Letterman's got his new show on Netflix now, where he's, he's interviewing these really awesome people who don't always give interviews, or just really interesting people that you want to hear from. So it would be something like that, because Oprah was like my, my goddess. So I would want to be like the next Oprah, or have like a design show and do like design interior homes and such. Not that I have the skill for that, but if they're going to give me a show, then I'm going to be like, well, that's what I want to do. So I have a passion
I'm getting
for
a
it.
show and I'm getting paid.
Right. So I'm going to make it all about me. That's what I do.
So you're going to go in, you're going to buy a castle at like $3 million, put like $10 million into it, and they're like, well, it's sold for $6 million, but
But it looks really good. Yeah, that's what I would do.
I like it. No surprise on mine, I guess, but I think if Netflix did kind of the Marvel treatment to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think like a standalone like Casey Jones TV series would be pretty sweet, and you tie that into the Turtles like mainstays, like the main TV series. You could branch off to the Ultron. You can branch off into like Shredder and all of his gang, and there's a lot of stories there for a universe. So I think if you had the money and no issues with rights, that'd be pretty sweet. And I'd want to do it live action too.
Yeah. It could be like the original comics where it was a little more dark, right?
Yeah.
And serious.
They've got a comic out right now that's it's a little bit darker, even though Nickelodeon's putting it out. But if they followed that, like if the new TV or the new movies just followed that storyline, they'd be in better shape than what they are now. But.
You know, just hearing, okay, so we have Transformers and the Ninja Turtles. So it sounds like if we did travel back in time, one of the things we need to do is stop Michael Bay.
Yes.
Like we're talking about like, you know,
I'm on board with that.
Hey, encourage an artist, but not Michael Bay. Don't encourage Michael Bay.
The best way to stop him is strap like 100 tons of TNT to him in a giant explosion.
Well, I think we look at like his first drawing or his first movie, be like, that's shit. You should do something else.
Yeah. Yeah, the opposite of our plan with Hitler.
No, but it's Navy SEALs and they're on Alcatraz. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah. Why don't you run for office?
I don't know what would be worse. We come back and he's president. I mean, that might be pretty scary.
Because then he'd be in control of real explosions.
Stop Michael Bay.
Let's see. This is a pretty generic question, and it's kind of the typical one you see from a lot of people. This has come from Sarah O. So, what is your win the lottery plan?
Oh. I thought you meant, for a second, I was like, plan to win the lottery. I'm like, buy a lot of tickets?
No, I think what she's asking here is like, what
would you do?
You've won the lottery. Yeah, what do you do? Rima, you want to start this one off?
Sure. So, I mean, clearly, whatever outstanding crap, the boring stuff, like pay whatever I've got outstanding off and just be done with it and never have like any type, like owe anything ever again. And then just travel. I mean, outside of just that boring stuff, I would have like some super cool cars in my garage because I'm a car girl and I got to have a couple options. So some super fun cars and just travel the world. I would go to all the places that, you know, that I would want to go and have wanted to go, and just travel the globe, never settle and just go all the time.
I read a thing once that said that you can travel around the world for 1 year and it would cost you like $28,000.
Really?
And you could travel around the world for 1 year and not travel around the world on the cheap, like travel around the world comfortably for 1 year. It would cost you $28,000.
Is that room, board, and food?
Yes. That's room,
Wow.
board, food.
That sounds really...
Train tickets, plane tickets.
Because, I mean, it's champagne and caviar for me all the way. So, I mean, we're not, you know, I mean, if I've got the lottery, then it is VIP all the way. And it's, you know, doing some definite champagne caviar dreams for sure.
Yeah. That's all it takes.
No
20 grand.
slumming. No slumming.
I like the slumming. I'd stay in hostels all the time. Yeah.
Wake up in a dungeon area where somebody's got you tied to a chair.
No kidneys.
I'd like to complain to the management.
This was not in the brochure.
I am the management.
I am the management. Will you have my kidney, sir? In your hand. I'd like it back, please. I know how to take them out. That's all I know.
What do I look like, a doctor?
Do what you did, but in reverse.
Jason, what about you? What is your win the lottery plan?
I definitely would not want to get a giant house, but I would want to get a bigger house with just a couple of more rooms, like a podcasting room. I've thought about this. Like, I would still podcast because I love it so much, but I would hire somebody to make all my food, and I would hire somebody to clean my house all the time. And I'd probably get a nanny. And yeah, I'd travel around a lot, but I think I'd still keep podcasting a lot. So yeah, I just want the food taken care of, the travel, and I'd still want to spend a lot of time with my kids, but I just want to make sure I'd have time to do the podcasting, so I'd have a nanny.
Yeah, I think I'd have like the houses kind of like not big houses, but decent houses like all over the country. So like you can go
That's
here
a
for
good
3
point,
months, here for
yeah.
3 months. Podcast room and all, because I keep podcasting for sure.
Right. Yeah.
I'd probably start a new one, and I just call it "I'm Rich," just to be a dick about it. Yeah, I'm rich,
I
bitch.
am rich, bitch.
That's where we podcast, and you just tell me about all the like. Be like,
What's up, everybody? I'm the one with the money, Shawn.
Today I'm podcasting in an Iron Man suit.
Hey, we should do that anyway and just pretend.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Just be like, Shawn, you're sounding a little pretentious. I can't hear you in my Iron Man suit.
You say such hurtful things, Richard. I gotta dry my tears with this $1,000 bill.
And then burn it.
Yeah. That's sullied.
Is that 100? Yeah. But yeah, and like I'd be going to. There's this resort that Tiff and I go to. We've gone a couple times, but it'd be a yearly thing, maybe even like a monthly thing. We'd hit that place up.
How would you get there? Because
I don't know.
You're like, oh, I want to travel the world, but I mean, aside from North and South America, what are you gonna do? Because you're gonna have to fly over water.
Yeah, I'm not traveling the world. I mean, my houses are gonna be all here in the States, and then Mexico is the furthest I'm gonna go.
Oh, you won't go in a plane?
He won't
Over
go on a
water?
plane over water.
What about a boat?
It's even worse. We just talked about Titanic.
Submarine?
I have a huge irrational fear of sharks. So whenever I've gone to Mexico a few times, and that like hour and a half flight over the water, like I'm white knuckling it. I'm like, we're gonna crash. I'm gonna survive, and I'll be like, yay, I'm alive. And all of a sudden, Finn right next to me. Yeah,
I don't think a shark has ever gotten onto a boat. Oh, but the Titanic went down, so
that's
I guess
true.
that could happen. Yeah.
I'm with you, Shawn. I've got an irrational fear as well, so I'm right there with you. Don't do
So you're
water.
not, but you're going to be. So you're just going to be traveling on the North American continent, South America.
Yeah, I wouldn't go like the. Again, the wife really wants to go to Europe, and that is a long flight over a lot of water. So,
They make drugs for that.
oh hey guys, there's a shark about to eat us.
See, you won't
That's
care.
all right.
We're in his water.
That's a good point.
What would
You know,
happen if you gave ecstasy to a shark? I wonder.
I think that's where you get land sharks.
They'd be like,
fuck this water.
they'd be like nuzzling up against you, like.
you feel so good right now.
I'm so hungry. I just don't want to eat you. Let's just go get a salad.
Punch me in the nose again. Oh, I want to feel alive.
I think I want to. Yeah, if I won the lottery, I would want to become a scientist and do an experiment with sharks and ecstasy.
It's kind of so. Would you want to become like the next Elon Musk? Like you'd want to build all these crazy ass things, like flamethrowers and testing stuff on sharks. And
Definitely get a Model S, a Tesla Model S. Yeah, I'd be right there, day one.
Richard, what's your lottery plan?
This one's hard. I mean, aside from all the boring stuff, like, yeah, I would probably travel. But I would think for me personally, like I would instead of having like a bunch of little houses, I would just buy like the sweetest camper you could ever imagine. And then I would just podcast mobily. Like I'd pay the stupid price for satellite internet, or once Elon gets his satellites in the air and offers, worldwide broadband, then yeah, fine, let's do that. But then I would just podcast on the go. I'd have this like basically a mobile studio.
That's
Nice.
cool.
And then put it on a boat and go, and that's how I get, because I have no irrational fear of water. So I could put it on a boat and then I could be in Europe.
Would you drive or would you hire somebody to drive? Because I know like we've done the cross country thing. We both love to drive, but a big ass sweet RV seems a little bit difficult to chug along on the interstate.
Oh, would I drive the RV? Yeah, I'd drive it. I enjoy driving
Me too.
long distances.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Maybe occasionally I'd hire someone just for the hell of it.
I like driving like cars and stuff like that, but I don't know if I'd want to handle
Yeah.
an RV. I know.
Yeah, I'd love to drive too, but oh gosh, thinking about driving one of them big things, oh my gosh, I'd hurt somebody.
See, like you and I, when we drove, I think I did. Did I do the lion's share of the driving?
I think we'll split half and half. When we came back on the big trip, I think I drove most of it because you fell asleep and I didn't want to wake you because you look so cute.
That's totally what happened.
That's so sweet. Now we're hearing the real story.
No, we chronicled that whole story.
We did.
We did.
It's an episode.
We released. There was 2 episodes. We put that in 2 because, and not including the fact that it was like 3 hours before we're like, maybe we should record this while we're driving. It was 3 hours of us talking and BSing, and it was funny. And I'm like, hey, maybe we should record this. So then the next 3 hours was us actually recording ourselves BSing.
That's awesome. That'd be fun to podcast on a road trip. Shawn will have to remember that when we finally do our float trip. It's podcast on the float trip.
Get like some kind of water tube or waterproof recorder.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'd just be a lot of like, hey, another splash.
Save me!
Tune in next time.
Are there sharks in this river? Take the girl.
It's happened. Don't laugh. It has happened. That's why we're going to have to be in like some sort of creek or something that's completely
Don't tell
isolated.
Shawn that.
Something brushed my leg. Something brushed my leg.
No, you don't need to tell him that. He knows. He'll occasionally throw up a story and be like, look, they found this shark and it was upriver. See how far upriver it was?
It was a bull shark. It happens.
I'm not leaving my house. That's it.
I don't take baths anymore. The showers, I plug the drain right there just in case.
He plugs it twice. He puts the drain in and then puts a rag on top of it.
I have my can of Batman shark spray right there.
Yeah.
Shark repellent. The first movie I ever saw when I was 6 years old in the theater was Jaws. My mom took me to see Jaws.
Oh, jeez.
It scared the shit out of me.
Scared the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
This is why we have the irrational fear of sharks. But I love that movie. That's probably the movie I could take on an island with me and watch over and over again because it's like the best movie ever.
Except you never want to like try to swim and save yourself.
I'd be safely on the island forever because I would not be in the water.
You start building your raft like tomorrow's the day. I'm gonna watch my movies one more time.
Yeah. Oh,
You watch Jaws. Fuck it. More firewood.
Just push the raft out into sea and light it.
Yep.
Good thing I have this volleyball. My friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! I left it on the raft.
No, it's on fire. Oh.
I would die on the island. I'm not getting in the water.
Well, speaking of islands, so our next question comes from Kara M. And it says, so you're stuck on a desert island. You get to have a celebrity, someone who's dead, and a friend. Just a friend. So who are these people and why did you choose them? So a celebrity, someone like from the past that's not around anymore, and a friend. Jason, you want to kick this one off?
Oh my God, I got to think. Well, my friend is my friend Rich, a different Rich, who is such an easygoing. Sorry. I like you. I don't know you that well, but
just imagine now you're on the island and 2 Riches show up.
yeah.
Like, no, not you, Rich.
no.
The invitation said Rich, so I just thought that I'll start swimming.
It's watch out for the sharks in the burning raft. Because he's really easygoing and cool and fun to hang out with. Plus, he knows like he's good. He camps out a lot, and he's kind of an outdoorsman, which I'm not. So he could help with a lot of stuff. Celeb, Jesus Christ, I don't know. Who's that girl from Firefly?
Ooh,
Marina.
Marina Baccarin. Yeah, I don't know. Someone like that. And someone who's been dead for a long time or who's been dead.
Somebody that's not going to steal Marina from you.
Yeah. Julia Childs, she's gone, right? She can whip us up some
coconut cake today. I'm Julia Child. We're making coconut cake.
I'll go with that for now, just so we can move things along.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Celebrity. For friend, I mean, I guess by default I have to pick you, right? If I didn't, it'd be weird, right?
Who you picking?
I'd have to pick you, Shawn. Oh, that's.
Can you say that a little bit louder? Who you're picking, Richard?
I would pick my best friend Shawn. That's who I would pick, and I don't even need a celebrity or a corpse on the island with me. Just
well, the
you.
person's not dead. You get to bring him back.
Okay.
I hope that's what they meant.
I hope that's what they meant.
Right.
Yeah.
Which corpse would you want?
Like, all right, celebrity, a corpse, and a friend. What do they think we're going to be doing?
Oh God.
I've seen that movie. Celebrity. I don't know. That one's tough. Because I'd have to think. You got to think of a celebrity that you'd have like a decent conversation with for an extended period of time.
So not Snooki.
Not Snooki. Or
Leonard
maybe
Nimoy.
Snooki. Ooh, Nimoy would be good. Or the guy that Neil deGrasse Tyson. That'd be all right.
They keep you entertained for a while.
Yeah. Super loaded with information. Like I'd leave that island with a doctorate in physics.
What celebrities know how to make boats?
Ooh.
That would be a good one.
Or one that knows how to fly a plane. Gilligan. That's who I'd pick.
So my celebrity, just with all that, like he's got to have a little bit of knowledge. Leonardo DiCaprio. If at worst, he could at least act and entertain me for a bit. Someone who's dead, I'd want the crocodile hunter there with me because he's got some skills with taking care of stuff. He'd be able to be like, don't touch that animal. It's feisty and poisonous. You can touch that animal. Would
you whittle together an Oscar and then give it to the crocodile hunter?
In front of Leo.
And be like, God damn it, not again.
Even when there's three of us, God damn it.
I don't know if I would trust the crocodile hunter about which animals not to touch. Oh, that's harsh.
That's
well, he was
really
out of
harsh,
his element.
and that cuts really deep for me.
I know.
It cut him really deep. Sorry, that one just came out. That was no filter.
Yeah, no. He's obviously a good choice. Yeah.
And my friend obviously would be Richard as well, because at worst, at least I'd get to laugh on the island. So,
right? Because it's you, me, and a corpse,
and Leo,
and Leo,
an island Leo.
The Oscar goes to this monkey. Damn it!
So you guys aren't picking any women, really? Like you're not going to have any?
Yeah, I guess we did. You didn't pick any women, Richard.
Well, I'm thinking it would be a woman, the celebrity, but then I had Neil deGrasse Tyson. So
you're going to have to turn gay.
Gail Gadot would actually not be a bad celebrity to bring with me.
Yeah.
I might actually pick her over Leo. Because one, she could protect me because I've seen Wonder Woman.
If you're gonna pick Wonder Woman because she thinks, pick Robin Wright because A, she was in Wonder Woman and she was a badass, and B, she was also the Princess Bride. Yeah. So,
but Gail Gadot was actually in the army too, so she's got some legit skills.
That's
like she has
a
some
good
learned
point.
skills.
Yeah.
So
Israeli army.
You could pick any lady from Israel. They all have to serve in the army.
Yeah, but this would be my celebrity.
Oh, okay. Oh, whatever.
Rima, what about you? Celebrity, somebody from the past, and then a friend.
Oh my gosh. So many choices. So probably for celebrity, I would probably pick Julian McMahon. And then for Shawn, I'm going to steal your dead person and go with Steve Irwin because I don't do like, I love animals, but you know what? I want someone who's a lot more educated about it and like keep me away from like the poisonous stuff because I'll be like, oh, that's cute. Ouch. Now I'm going to die, and die and not live my life out on the island. And then, let's see. And then for friend, I'd bring you, Shawn, so we could still podcast.
It's true. Get a satellite.
We could podcast from the island. So,
well, that's an elephant in the room that I'm not going to touch. Just throwing that out there.
We have to change it up though, because right now we do like commentary on like Netflix shows. So what would we do our show on?
So
coconuts.
I'm going to say, so today we have this coconut, and today we got visited by a new crab. we got this crab, and yesterday was this strange creature, and yeah.
If you guys had the ability to podcast that and broadcast it out, then you must have some kind of internet connection so you can watch Netflix.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's just like slow internet. So we like
lots of pauses.
But even if we couldn't podcast, we could, at least have a whole bunch of episodes, kind of like a time capsule thing. You like shipping those message in a bottles.
My favorite part in the episode was when it didn't buffer for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like around that episode 200, Rima was like, Shawn won't be joining us anymore because we ran out of food.
Well, let's just say he ran out of food.
So our next question, which kind of steers into a little bit of inappropriate, I'm not sure how you will answer this one, Rima, but we could probably come up with something. This comes from Ian Wells. And so it's, would you rather have a big penis or be rich? Not rich as in Richard, but rich as in money wealth.
I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Am I right? Huh? Am I right?
If you're rich, you don't need
Anybody?
a big penis.
This is true.
That's what his wife says.
All the time.
I guess I'd rather be rich.
Yeah, me too. Because
That's kind of the boat I'm in too. Yeah. Because, yeah. I mean, with money.
they say it's a good size.
Yeah. I mean, I've already had 46 years of experience with a gigantic. No, I'm just kidding. No, but hey, it's what you do with it that matters. So
right?
You could make something happen even if you didn't have a big giant penis. But we've already talked about what we do with our lottery money.
From the other side of things, I'll say I'll beg to differ on that one, but I'll choose. Clearly, for me, I would definitely be rich. I don't want a penis. I like being a girl, so I'll take the
I don't
money.
know, man. They're super fun. They're
so are
super.
boobs. So
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, they kind of got you there.
I can get those.
you can't get that.
It's easier for me to get boobs than it is for you to get a penis.
That is true.
So I guess to make this maybe more relevant to you, Rima. So would you rather be with a guy that's rich and has a small penis, or be with a guy that has a big penis but isn't rich?
How
Well, that's just
big?
kind of a one-dimensional question, isn't it? Why don't you just be like, "Hey, are you a size queen?" Circle yes or no.
It'll be in the show notes.
You know what? I'll just say this: money isn't everything.
Got it.
Confirmed. Was it they say it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean, to which my wife will retort, yeah, but it takes a long time to get to England in a rowboat. And then I cry.
Like, yeah, it does. Wait. What does that mean? Babe, what does that mean? I've got the Titanic, right?
Sure, honey. It's got to be for that, because I mean, it's not like I'm rolling in dough here, so it's got to be the other, right? She didn't marry me for money. That's all I'm saying. Because it's not there. It's not like I'm gonna secretly come up to her one day and be like, I've been a millionaire this whole time. I've been hiding it.
She's like, thank God that small penis had to pay off at some point.
Finally did.
I figured you'd compensate at some point.
It was coming around. It finally happened.
All right, so this question comes from That's Delightful Podcast. They're part of Pod Bros as well. So what's up with flat-billed hats? Why are bros making bros look bae by wearing flat-billed hats?
Yeah, I don't is that an age thing though? Like if I say, yeah, I think that's stupid, is that an age thing? Like I think it's stupid because I mean, I don't know. I come from the generation of hammer pants. So I mean, I really don't know what
Yeah, there's not much room to talk, is there?
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel kind of silly on that one.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Wear what you want. I don't care.
I feel like as I get older, I care less about it.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as
You care less about what you wear, you care less about what anybody wears.
what anybody wears. Like, you want a flat bill hat with the price tag still on it? Go ahead. I don't care. Be like I know you guys may not know this. It was the lady from the old, it's like the old tea what the hell was that show? She was an old lady country show that had the price tag on her hat.
Minnie Pearl from
Minnie
Hee Haw.
Pearl. Yeah. Yeah.
She was
You're
cool.
from the Midwest if you can pull that out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
I don't know.
Yeehaw.
I mean, people can wear whatever they want because clothes are totally a self-expression, and I certainly, I wear what I like, whether other people like it or not. I might think it looks dumb because I do. I also think it's dumb when they're wearing their pants down around their ass and, everything's hanging out. I think that looks dumb. But I mean, you can totally wear whatever you want, but I'm also entitled to think that it looks dumb. So,
Right.
That reminds me of when I was in college playing volleyball and this, it was back in the 90s, and I guess it's still like that. I don't know, but it was when, your pants would go down and you could kind of see your underwear sticking out. But this dude's pants got so far down that you could basically see almost all of his butt. His underwear was still on, but one of his buddies like, dude, just pull your pants up. I'll never forget that. That was so funny.
And he's like, what do you mean?
Moment. Yeah, isn't it cool?
Fashion statement.
He's only fallen down like 12 times.
What are you trying to state? What's the statement? Like, hey, I wish I owned a belt?
wish
Is
my
that the
pants were a
statement?
couple size smaller. I don't know. When you
Yeah.
have to walk like bow-legged to hold your pants up from keeping from falling down, I don't know. It's like I said, it's whatever. You can wear whatever, but
See, but again, am I saying that because I'm a crotchety old person and I'm like, well, pull your pants up?
Well, the pull your pants, I mean, that's been around for like Jason was saying, like since the 90s. That's not a thing that's like brand new.
yeah.
True.
I think that's when it started in the 90s. I really don't care. I think people should wear whatever they want and more power to them. And my son, he's 6 years old, and my instinct was to dress him like I dress, just like jeans and t-shirts, like solid colored t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And he wears like pants with hot dogs all over them or stars, or like even has one that has, I don't think he knows it, but it's like marijuana plants all over, and go to school like that. And
We are from California though, right? So it's okay.
it's fine. And it turned, I was like, God, you really got to send him off like that. But then when I went to his class and I found out that all the other kids are like waiting to see what pants he's going to wear, and they think it's cool. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Self-expression, go for it, whatever.
That's how it is for like at work with me. They're like, oh, is Shawn going to wear pants today?
Please, 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 please.
Underwear.
So do you guys have anything? This is kind of a question I just thought of. Do you guys have any kind of clothing that like when you wear, you're kind of like, I bet people are kind of judging me for wearing this?
I do these conventions, Walker Stalker. And so I'm up on stage and I try to look nice. But one day I wore this shirt that had this Salvador Dali print on it. That artist that did all these like psychedelic weird, where like clocks are melting and things. And I was wondering what people thought about that. Like, is this too weird or too showy or something? I don't know. I tend to try to be under the radar, just kind of casual. And I like the idea that like people might look at me and think, he's not trying to stand out. Like, this guy probably isn't much. And then I can surprise them, versus where you're really trying to like be flashy, then you kind of have to live up to it. You know what I mean?
I think for me, I don't know. I usually get like, and this is going to sound really boastful and I don't mean it that way, but I usually get like lots of compliments on things that I wear because I keep things simple, but yet kind of trendy and a few pieces, but probably just because of the area that I'm in, because it's not really a super trendy kind of area and people are just kind of like pretty simple in what they wear. But if I am around this area and I wear my leather pants, I get some looks. They're kind of like,
Same thing happens to me.
Yeah, you break out those leather pants, you get some looks.
Like, dude, it's like 98 degrees out. I'm like, oh yeah, you remember that band too, huh?
Yeah. I don't wear them in the summer, that's for sure. I wear them in the fall and the winter. So I do wear them when appropriate, but I feel like if I wear them around my area, that people are kind of like, wow, that's okay, whatever. But if I go to like bigger cities and stuff, I don't really get a second glance. So I think it kind of depends on where you're at. But I don't wear anything too funky. I mean, I left that shit in the 80s, late 80s and 90s wearing that weird shit. So
how did you get the idea to wear leather pants? Because I think it's totally cool. I've seen you wear those. And you don't see people wearing leather pants every day, but it works.
Leather pants.
It works for you. How did you first decide to do that?
Because it's like I feel like part of like the whole rock star thing. I've been obsessed with like metal and heavy metal and the whole hard rock scene since I was like 6 years old. So, and that's what everyone wore was leather pants. And I was like, I'm going to have a pair of leather pants when I grow up, and I can rock the shit out of those leather pants. So that's why I wear them.
Yeah. In the event somebody ever comes by and is casting for a Nine Inch Nails video.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always have a concern of like shorts. So I always fear that my shorts are either too long so they look goofy or too short and they look goofy. Every pair of shorts I wear, I'm always concerned about that. I don't really know where
trying to find that
from.
balance.
Is that because of the state of shorts, or is that because of the state of your legs?
Probably a little of both.
Like, because like mine, for example, like I have like thighs that would blind the sun, but like my shins like aren't terrible. So I usually, anytime I wear shorts, I want them to get to my knees. Now, like lengthwise, I need them to be at my knees. Otherwise,
I think it's there's just people like I've seen like the shorts like go like way too far past their knee. So you're like, why aren't you wearing pants? And then there's the dudes that wear the shorts that are just a little bit too short, almost like dad shorts maybe. And now that I'm a dad, maybe I'm a little bit more concerned about that.
No, I agree. That's why I'm not a fan of capris. Because it's like
capris are awful.
Half, like just make up your mind. Wear pants or wear shorts.
Well, at least you're not rocking those like super short, like Levi cutoffs with like, you're like from the 80s, how like the too short. Did you guys ever like cut off your denim pants and rock those?
Just a step above Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I had some of those.
And like one's popping out the side.
Well, that's how Jason and I hit it off at Podcast Movement.
Yeah,
he came by and saw me in my Daisy Dukes and was like, I gotta talk to that guy.
If I had a nickel.
Are you Shawn?
One way to start a conversation.
Please don't be Shawn. Please don't be Shawn. Yeah, that's me. Oh God.
I've been wanting to speak with you, testicle. I mean, bro.
All right. So the next question is: so, in an apocalyptic world like The Walking Dead, what would you have to offer in order to be a valuable team player, or would you be more of a solitary player? And this comes from one of our longtime listeners, Aaron.
So you're asking what, like, we meet a group of people and we're like, hey, you should bring me with you because I can.
Exactly. Or you like, I shouldn't do that because they're going to kill me because I have nothing to offer. So would you be better off on your own?
I'd have to be with a group because I feel like I lack like this, like any sort of skills I do have, I would lack in other areas. Like I lack so much in things like, I don't know, basic survival that I'd need other people.
You go up to somebody, it's like, how'd you make that fire with this lighter? Wow, you're a magician.
I say we burn him. You guys with me? Huh? Let's burn this guy.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I don't know, man. Like I'm not very good at outdoor stuff or survivalist, but maybe person skills like just keeping the peace, keeping morale up, trying to keep everyone focused, stuff like that. I feel like I could add that way. Plus I'm like willing to learn.
Yeah. So you'd be the moral officer. Somebody gets eaten and you're like, that was a good try though. And as you're running away. I feel like I gave him some encouragement, guys. What do you think? I think
don't worry, guys, he's in a better place.
Oh wow. Gosh. I don't have like real special skills, something like that stands out, but I can shoot a gun really well because I did grow up doing that all my life. So I grew up around guns. I'm really good with knives. I do know some basic survival stuff, and I can start a fire like no one's business. Like when no one else can start one, I can start a fire, and I can cook. So I'll keep you well fed as long as the food is around.
I'm going to join her group.
I was just going to say, I think we found our leader.
I'm going to join her group.
Like, Shawn, you need to get in that lake and get some water. I'm like, but there might be sharks in there. Shawn, it's a lake.
Number 1, it's a lake. Number 2, we're in a zombie apocalypse. Sharks is your concern. And number 3, again, it's a lake.
I don't know what I could add to a team. I mean, I guess.
I don't either. I
mean, I get along with a lot of people, so I wouldn't rock the boat too much. But I'd probably want to keep a pretty small team too. So I think sometimes the problem is if you get too big, then I think you start having to worry about politics.
I think the problem is I don't know if I'd want to be with a team, but I don't think I could survive on my own, because I think if I join a team, like I'm going to be the person that they're going to sacrifice first. I'm going to be the person be like, here, you stay here. Make sure this door gets locked. Oh, okay.
Make sure you post my next episode. Yeah, sure. We'll do that.
All right.
Let's do it on our iPod.
Guys.
Guys, it's dark in here.
Are you still there? You're still there, right?
There's noises in here, guys. Hello.
Wait, I've seen this in a movie. It's not working.
I found my job. I'm the bait. But I know that I probably wouldn't survive on my own, so I guess I'm just, I'm going to be one of the many people that's probably going to be eaten. Thanks. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like 99% of the population is going to die, so.
That's true. I've seen the image of it's one dude on a car surrounded by zombies, and the arrow's pointing to the guy, and it's like, this is who you think you are during the zombie apocalypse. Yeah. And the next page is, this is what you're actually going to be during the zombie apocalypse. Yeah,
this is assuming that we actually make it to the zombie apocalypse, that we didn't get
I stand
out.
with the 99%.
I think you've mentioned this, Jason, like your theory on it is like, what if like being a zombie is actually like a very blissful, good thing? Like you're in this world of like it's like you're on ecstasy just walking around.
Yeah.
And when you're biting into people, it's like, oh my God, this is the greatest hamburger of all time.
It's all just sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And then you get stabbed in the head.
Some dick comes along and shoots an arrow in your face.
Oh, well. Can't win them all.
Let's see. So, Richard, this question comes from James H. Actually, I guess everybody. This isn't just for Richard. But what sounds do you make during whoopee?
What sounds do I make during whoopee? Stop it. That hurts too much. First thought.
Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah. Oof. I hate that day. It's a rough day. That's a whiskey drinking day.
It's one of the 30 days of the year. Wait a second.
That's the sound I make. And I say, oh, what a lovely tea party.
Are we supposed to I don't know. I don't make much sound, I don't think.
I don't think I
get the sound.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to elicit noise, not trying to cause it. I try and stay quiet because I'm busy listening. Because sound is a big thing for me. Yeah, it's like thumping a melon. It's like thumping a melon, trying to make sure it's good.
Right.
Is that your technique too? You're like thunk, babe. Does that feel good?
Yeah,
thunk,
you just
thunk,
flicker
thunk.
on the forehead, and you're like,
monk, monk.
Are you there yet?
It's like, Richard, haven't you seen porn? It's like, those are fake. This is how it works.
Questioner wanted us to fake some orgasms. They're not getting what they want.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. They wanted us to fake an orgasm. Sorry.
Hey.
I'm not Meg Ryan.
I was gonna say, if you want to, I'm loud. So if you want to know what I sound like, just play the clip from When Harry Met Sally and listen to Meg Ryan in the restaurant. That's me.
And I've got that queued up. Here we go.
And again, the room goes quiet. Except for the slight clacking of people's keyboards.
Don't you guys think? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but it seems like women tend to make more noise than men. Right?
I think
But I always wondered, are they doing that for us? Like, how much of that is for our benefit? And
like Rima, if a guy's all, oh, isn't that kind of a little off?
like that would throw you. I would think that would throw you off.
or it'd make her feel like a rock star.
Oh my god!
Well,
If a dude's like all of a sudden you'd be like, is he haunted?
Ooh.
no, I'm actually okay with like little noise from a guy, but
Like Alec Baldwin and Beetlejuice.
yeah. I mean, well, I didn't say no noise, but there's got to be some sort of reaction because it's like you got to know that they're into it too. And I probably like noise more, and not loud noise, but at least some kind of acknowledgement. Kind of like when, like Rich, you were talking about thumping the melon. Am I doing good? More like during like oral. So that's when you want to know. That's when I want to like, am I doing something right?
Yes, I will say that if I am vocal, it's during that.
Yeah. That's whenever I appreciate
it's like,
it more.
please tonight, babe, please. It's our
Oh my God, it's
anniversary,
happening!
please.
It's happening!
I can't believe it.
Leave out the begging and the praise and the graciousness of actually getting that, but some acknowledgement that there's something happening there, that at least you're on the right path.
Good job. Very nice. Very nice.
High fives.
No,
You're getting a 5-star review.
leave a good review on Yelp. leave me a 5-star review on Yelp. Thanks. Rate me high.
Let's see. So what is the last thing you bought under $20 and the last thing you've bought over $20? This comes from Brad W.
I'm trying to think of the last thing I bought that was under $20.
I bought this coffee right here. It's from Starbucks.
Yeah. Can of Coke. Last thing I bought that was over $20. I recently bought a game called Far Cry 5, and I've been playing the ever loving crap out of it, and it is amazing. Far Cry 5. I highly recommend that game. Super fun.
I think I saw that today in the PlayStation store, or I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, I've been playing it on my PC. It's basically like so I would say it's a first person it's not really a first person shooter, but it's set in rural Montana, and there is this crazy militia like cult that has pretty much taken over this county in Montana, and it is your job to try and wrest the county away from this cult and liberate it for the people of Hope County, Montana. It is a super awesome game, and it's
got like really awesome graphics, right?
Really, it's yes, it is super pretty. And considering, like I said, it's set in Montana, so like with all the foliage and the trees and the water and everything, Montana looks beautiful. Like that game makes me want to visit Montana.
Nice.
Because it looks amazing.
How many hours do you have in that game right now? Is it a pretty long? I'm guessing it's a long game because you said it's very sandboxy.
I bought it a few weeks ago, like maybe a month ago. I have 66 hours in it right now. 66 hours I put into it. Now, granted, some of that is me just leaving it on pause for a night or whatever. But my favorite scene so far has been, there was this quest where you go to a bar, and I've told Shawn this. There's a quest where you go to a bar, and the cook at the bar said he wants to do a testicle festival for the people in the town. He wants to do a testicle festival. So it is your job to collect testicles for him to cook at this testicle festival. And he gives you different kinds that you need. And for one, you need an engorged bull's testicles. And the only way you can get it is you have to kill a bull as it's about ready to mate with a cow. So I end up going to some farm. I found some cow farm that was around. You could have done this at anyone, but there was this one farm in particular. I knew there were cows and bulls. So I go to this farm, and there's these 4 bulls in a pen in like this open pasture. And then there's another kind of cordoned off pen with these 4 cows. And I'm like, okay, well, I just need to get the cows down into where the bulls are. And the gate is locked. So I shoot the lock off and open the gate. And as soon as I open the gate, these cows go running into the bullpen. And the second that happens, the audio in my game starts to play Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye. As these cows go into the bullpen and these bulls are getting ready to mate with these cows.
Wow.
I start hearing, when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. And I laughed for 5 minutes. I had to put it on pause because I was laughing so hard.
Wow.
So that was the last thing I
That's
bought that was over $20.
Rima, what about you? Last thing under $20? Last thing over $20?
Oh my gosh. So something under $20. I bought a video game today that was under $20.
You bought Until Dawn.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
It's this game I've been trying to get her to play that I found out was on sale.
I haven't seen
I'm glad
Until
you
Dawn.
got it. It's fucking cool. It's like 80s slasher and mixed with Telltale, where you get to make choices, but it's like butterfly effect, kind of like we were talking about with Hitler. So, depending on the little things you do, it could go in all different directions, and it's a really cinematic and good, graphically cool game. It's really, really good. Until Dawn. I recommend it.
Yep, that was like having a deal on that for the next couple of days, I think. So yeah, that was $6. And
Oh, wow.
gosh,
Is it on Steam?
It's on PS4.
PS4.
Oh, okay.
PlayStation.
Yeah. And oh gosh, I mean, if we're being like completely honest, I guess the last thing, it's totally boring, but if you're going to be completely honest, and the last thing I bought for over $20 was I filled up my Jeep. So I don't get out much. So now I had to buy gas like yesterday. And then today I bought a video game. So stupid boring, but that's the truth.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. My over 20 was gas too, which is very boring. But my under 20 is I got a Pop Funko of Jim Hopper and
I saw that.
Hopper in a hazmat suit. So I got the I think it's a Hot Topic exclusive.
That was awesome.
You don't strike me as a frequent customer of Hot Topic.
No, I did it online. That's one of those places I think I used to go there all the time because they used to have really cool band T-shirts.
I
So,
still
early-
shop at Hot Topic. Sorry.
They've got like at least you can get them almost anywhere on the internet now, but they kind of have the cool graphic T-shirts. But
Yeah.
back then, like if I wanted a Papa Roach shirt, I had to go there to get one.
No kidding.
So this is kind of a general one. This is going to come from John from Pod Bros again. A lot of these are from Pod Bros, but what has been some of your favorite and least favorite experiences with podcasting? I'll jump on here. I mean, honestly, it's the 3 people here right now, actually, because with podcasting, not only has Richard
Okay,
and I
now what's your
become-
favorite?
the safest bet would be Jason. Jason's my favorite. But I mean, from this, Richard and I, we've got 200 episodes we've been doing, still going strong. I met Jason through podcast movement and from a podcast that I really enjoyed. And then from that, I got to meet Rima, which has allowed me the opportunity, or forced me at least, to start watching these shows that Richard tries to make me watch. So those are kind of my favorite moments.
It took a lady to push you over the edge. Like, hey, you
That's
should watch
true.
Daredevil. Yeah, I'll get to it. Okay, I'll watch it. You're not going to watch it, are you? I haven't even owned Netflix.
I actually don't. I get it from somebody else.
I'm very good at influencing people and manipulation. So it's, in Shawn's defense, I'm really good at persuading people to my side of things. So
Perfect.
Good
Yeah.
to know.
yeah.
Can you give?
fair
I was
warning.
almost going to mention someone's name because my worst experience in podcasting is happening right now, and I can't really talk too much about it. But it concerns a legal matter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't really talk. But I'm having a fight with a former host.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I never you see these things in the news. People who used to be like together and they're fighting and there's legal stuff involved, and now I'm on the other side of it. I'm like, oh, this is what it's like. I mean, actually, you know what, though? It's kind of crazy. This is like, I don't even know if I should say this, but it's actually kind of exciting in a way. Like, it's going to cost money, so that's not so great. And also, there's hurt feelings and all that. But it's also interesting. Like, I'm always one to like be really interested in all aspects of life, even the stuff that's not so nice sometimes. So it's interesting to go through it. But I would rather it never happened. Yeah, I'd rather it never happened.
Yeah, it's kind of Richard and I mean, when we first started our show, and now that I have 2 shows with Rima, there's always the concern, like especially with Richard and I specific, because we're like best friends, right? And we live really close together. Like, for something to happen where Richard's like, fuck this show, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, then what do I do?
Yeah. You guys seem pretty.
You wait for so you're saying you're just waiting for the day? Because I do that too. I do that. I honestly, I think that I do that more than you, because when it comes to the show, like, and I've said this before, like when it comes to things like the editing and all that stuff, like that's all you. Like, I feel I contribute the very least to the show, because I show up and I talk. I do my best to try and be entertaining. I do my best to try and be funny, but like, you're the one that puts like 90% of the work in. So if the day ever comes that you're like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore, like, I'm sick of carrying your stupid ass. And then I'm like, oh.
You know what, Shawn? You've never been funny.
Well,
that's the benefits of learning how to edit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Shawn's going to teach me that soon. I'm committing you really soon, because I think we've got some time coming up, so we're going to do that really soon.
If he teaches you, then that ups the chances you'll ditch him.
That's true, yeah.
No, I would never ditch
It makes
Shawn.
him less invaluable.
It's like, I've got a different guest on for this week, Shawn. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. You convinced
It's okay. I can edit it. Oh, all right.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it sounds a lot more devious than what I had planned. No,
Yep.
that definitely was not in the cards.
It's David Harper.
Well, if that's the case, then it's like, it's kind of like if the wife is like, hey, Leonardo DiCaprio's at the door, it's like, you win.
All right,
I would say, I feel like
go
Shawn would quietly
take
just
block.
bow down and be like, okay, okay, I understand.
Jason Momoa.
That's what I was just going to Jason Momoa. It's like,
if Jason Momoa shows up at the door, I'll be like, no, I can't, not even bother, not even going to try.
Yeah, just give him a high five on the way out.
I was like, hey, can you talk in Dothraki to me, please?
But
I have some stuff. Could you send
like
it?
favorite moments? Like I've gotten to interview most of the cast members of The Walking Dead, the show that I podcast about, and I still feel like my favorite moments are just laughing with Karen when we both like laughing uncontrollably. That's the best. But I mean, podcasting has brought a lot of really cool experiences, getting to go around the country and do these conventions and what else? I don't know. People send us free stuff, and just having listeners who care enough to write in and engage and all that. Like, it's all awesome. It's the best thing ever.
So I probably should know this. Is Walking Deadcast the first podcast you've done? Or did you have one before that?
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
First one.
2010.
But no, I totally agree with that. The fact, because like I sit here and, you know, and I talk with Shawn, and we'll, you know, BS and riff on something for an hour. And the fact that I have anybody that wants to listen, the fact that there's anybody that listens still to this day, even after 200 episodes, if I look at, you know, if the downloads we have for that week are more than one, I'm always like, what? Like, somebody else,
Russian bots. We've got Russian bots.
Somebody else wants to listen to this. Like, it's still, even after, you know, 4+ years, I still find that, you know, it hard to wrap my head around that there's somebody that's like, yeah, I'll listen to these. I'll give this a chance. I'll listen to this. And people that, you know, say, hey, I listen to you guys a lot. I'm like, really? What? Is that true?
It's like our new buddy Dave from Chicago. It's like he's been listening since pretty much day one, and he's the kind of guy. It's like, oh hey, come up to Chicago. I'll get you tickets to a Cubs game.
Right?
Like really? Like why? Like we'll pay you for them. Like we haven't done anything.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So I know, Rima, you've been kind of podcasting a little bit less than us at this point. But so what's been some of your favorite moments so far?
Gosh, I mean, I can't say and elaborate too much more on what you guys have said. It's pretty much exactly the same. Some of my favorite moments is just the people that I've had an opportunity to meet. I've made some great friends through podcasting and met a lot of great people. And now an opportunity that, Shawn, you and I have our own that we podcast. And so, I mean, just all the people that I've met and great experiences, and I get to laugh with you every week and get to have that experience. And I'm with you, Rich. I mean, the fact that people, care about what we say and listen to us, I'm just like, wow. Like, and they're like, we love you guys. And I'm like, thanks. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to handle that, any sort of appreciation. Cause I'm like, I stay stupid shit into a microphone. Like you could do this.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Anybody can do this.
But you guys, not everyone can do what you guys do. You guys are really quick and funny, and you guys do great improvisation. So I don't agree with that.
You guys are hysterical. I'm usually blowing snot bubbles a lot whenever I listen to you guys. So don't sell yourself short. But I've had a way more positive than any negative. I think probably the worst is just like any kind of on the other side of that are those negative things that people say when people, it's fine if you have something constructive to say, but when people are just mean, that just and it takes everything I have to ignore it and not pay attention to it and only focus on the positive things. Cause we definitely get more positive than we do the negative. So that's at least good. But, it is hard to let that go sometimes. So that's probably the worst thing that I have to get over and the worst experience, but it's the good has far outweighed any bad at all. I'll keep doing it forever as long as people, even if people don't want to listen to me, I don't care. It doesn't stop me in real life. If I don't have a mic in front of me, I'm gonna talk anyway. So
it's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming about to the end of it, so I think this is probably a good last question to end on. So it comes from Paul Sading. So and I guess this could be on any of the podcasts that you're doing, but how many episodes do you ultimately see doing? Jason, I guess with the number of podcasts you have, let's start with you. We'll do Rima, then Rich, to kind of tidy this up.
Well, I just want to keep going forever.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to keep doing the Walking Dead cast forever because that show needs to end. They need to wrap it up. But I hope that I always, am able to just keep doing it. I don't feel like I want to end. And I don't know, man. I'm like, well, when I'm 60 years old, am I still going to have an audience? But I'm just sort of hoping, yes.
Yep, same. I want to keep going forever. I'll be podcasting in the nursing home until I croak.
Richard and I have already talked about we're going to get a room together so we can keep podcasting.
Absolutely.
Richard, what about you? How long are we going to be doing this show?
Let's see. 200 episodes. That's
200
how long
more?
we're gonna be doing. Oh, wait. We have to talk later.
By the way, send me what to talk to you about.
I learned how to edit. That's what happened.
Yeah, Rich and I are starting Language of Bromance.
Yeah, and
oh, damn it. Rima, we still go. Wait, where'd Rima go?
The
Bromance. She left
What?
too.
Sorry,
calling
hear
it
you?
the bromance continues.
I'm gonna do the language of lone mance.
It's where I sit in a bath with the toaster, and then people will email me and convince me not to drop it. I stream it. I stream it on Twitch. I'm just like, all right, chat. What's it gonna take?
I feel like this, and for Language of Bromance specifically, we've done 200 straight weeks. And I know when we first started, it was like, well, can we do a full year? We did a full year. And, I always kind of like this as the, just the audio kind of journal of our life and everything. So someday in the future, my kid or my kid's kids, or maybe my kid's kids can listen back to this and be like, our great grandpa is kind of a weird dude.
Yeah, I think about that too. What my kids will think.
Because I know my grandpa, and I've sat down and recorded with him before, but I don't know anything about my great grandpa or like anything kind of the lineage. But it'd be kind of cool just they could go to this, and hopefully like the internet stuff doesn't disappear, so hopefully they could find it.
And also, just like you said, it's an audio journal, like recording certain things for posterity. And I know, like, okay, like not trying to bring the room down. And I haven't mentioned this before, but for Father's Day, Shawn and I recorded an episode with our kids, and we could record an episode with our respective dads. So that was in June. We recorded an episode. So I had like a 20 half-hour conversation with my dad, just talking about like, hey, the reason that I'm into playing Dungeons and Dragons, the reason I, watch Star Wars constantly, the reason I am the weird nerd that I am is because of you. You ran my first Dungeons and Dragons game. You had a copy of Empire Strikes Back on VHS sitting in a cabinet. And so we had this half-hour long conversation back in end of February. My father passed away. And after that happened, the first thing I did was I went back and listened to that conversation, because the first thing that you lose when it comes to your parents, or if you lose anybody, the first thing that you lose in terms of remembering is their voice, like how they talked, what they sounded like. And I have that, and I have it forever. And it meant so much to listen to that. I called Shawn that day or the next day, and I was like, I listened to that episode again, and like, that was so amazing. I am so over the moon glad that we did that when we did, because now like that's entrenched in my memory forever, and I have that recording forever. And so I will never not know. I will never forget what he sounds like, because I have it.
That's amazing. I love that. It's
Super
really cool. Mm-hmm. It's neat.
So there's that.
Yeah, that's really special. I've had Nico on a couple of times to talk about like Avengers movies, and I want to get my kids on tape just so I can always preserve that. But now you're making me want to get my mom on, before it's too late.
Yeah, it's a conversation we had, and I mean, our parents are fairly young, so it wasn't like, I mean, it's kind of like with my grandpa. He's been around. He's like in his late 70s, and conversations like, oh, I should get to that, and we just happened to do it last year. And I know when Rich texted me that and called me about that, like I was like, if we didn't start this show, one, our friendship wouldn't be as strong as it is, and two, that thing wouldn't have existed. So
yeah.
If nothing else ever happens to that, I'm glad that at least something good came from it in a sense.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
So Richard, to bring the room a little bit up, what sounds do you make? What sounds do you make when you're making whoopee?
Let me thump the melon. Hang on.
All right. So as we're wrapping this up, Richard, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts?
How do you close? How do you wrap? What would closing thoughts be on 200 episodes? Always encourage an artist. We covered that. Otherwise, they kill 6 million people. So let that be a list. Yeah. Except Michael Bay. Don't encourage Michael Bay. And I think the main lesson is, we did 200 episodes, and we plan on doing another 200 episodes.
Yeah.
But again, and I think we all said this, like, anybody can really do this. We're all still amazed that there's any sort of praise or any reaction at all to what we do. And I really do feel like that's across the board. I think that no matter who it is and how many downloads they get per episode or anything like that, I think everybody has that same level of appreciation for their audience and the fact that anybody's listening at all, because the secret is that anybody can pick up a microphone and talk and put that recording on the internet. It's not hard to do. So thanks to everybody, to everybody that helps and everybody that listens and everybody that talks. Thanks to all. There it is.
Well, before we do a little bit of our housekeeping, Rima, did you want to share any of the shows or any of the podcasts that you're on, or anywhere people can reach you if they'd like?
Well, of course, you mentioned the podcast that we do together, Strange Indeed, on the Podcastica Network.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. Put the claws away, Rich. It's cool. We share equally. It's okay. I know you had him first. No,
I get him on weekends.
That's right. I'm part-time. I'm the side piece. And then Jason and I are doing a podcast on Legion, the impossibly cool show on FX about it, a Marvel character, Legion. I would recommend checking that out, that we do on Podcastica as well. So that's what I'm doing. And then other than that, I just do whatever Jason tells me. So
I didn't realize I had that power. That's good to know. No, that Legion is something else. If you want to, this is probably not a great way to sell it, but if you want to feel what it's like to be insane, watch that show.
I haven't watched. Have you watched it at all, Rich?
I have not. I've seen like all the trailers for it. Looked super cool, and it looked like a really interesting take on the superhero genre. Like, I'm trying like the way Marvel does their movies is, take like Captain America 2. That's a Jason Bourne movie with a superhero in it. And, Guardians of the Galaxy is a sci-fi fantasy movie with people with superpowers in it. Legion to me seemed like almost like a thriller horror kind of, this is just me viewing, TV spots and stuff for it. It kind of has this thriller horror vibe, but it's got people with superpowers in it.
It is horrific and it is thrilling. It kind of has a David Lynch thing to it where it plays with reality, and it's also funny, and it's really like meticulously put together. The showrunner Noah Hawley, he also does the Fargo TV series, which is also really good. And he just one of those guys, almost like Wes Anderson, that composes every shot very particularly. And it's got a lot of good things going for it. It's really fresh, good acting. It's got Jermaine Clement in it. And
Jason, did you want to share a couple places that they could find you if they want to check you out?
Yeah, sure. If you go to podcastica.com, you can see all the podcasts in our network. My big one is Walking Dead Cast. That show's about to wrap up for the season this weekend. I'm excited. I'm going to go see it on the big screen tomorrow night, Sunday night.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you guys are still into that, we're doing. We have Game of Microphones. What else? Legion. What else do we have on there? Ash vs. Evil Dead. Fucking hilarious. Yeah, Westworld's coming up.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of good stuff.
All right. Well, then I will do a little bit, if there's nothing else, a little bit of our housekeeping. So visit our website. We're at languageofbros.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbros.com. Check out the LOBarmy intelligence reports. Like us on Facebook. And go out and recruit somebody for the LOBarmy by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify.
And when you were on there, go ahead and throw up a rating and review. You don't have to, but I will say that those ratings and reviews are actually helpful because they help keep us in iTunes search algorithms, helps keep us in certain charts, basically helps keep our standing in places like iTunes or Spotify or places like that.
It makes them feel good.
Yeah, that too.
Be like, I thumped the melon and I didn't hear what I wanted to, so I passed.
That's my new go-to. Sorry, Rich, I'm still on that one.
Next time you're going to flick your man in the head, he'll be like, what are you doing?
Thumping the melon.
And you can always find us as part of the Pod Bros Network.
Because that's the best podcasting site on the internet, so I've heard.
Yep. And if you want to throw a little money in our tip jar, go to our Patreon accounts, www.patreon.com/languageofabromance. All right. Well, is there anything else then before I close it out?
No, for 200 times, we're landing the bird.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
Eat the beaver.
Eat the beaver.
That's what we all say. We all say to eat the beaver. But now we're going to change it to, and I say we thump the melon.
Perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.